Goresh. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios here in beautiful New Jersey, in the bunker, in an undisclosed location. And in an undisclosed location in the beautiful Beverly Hills, California area, one of the most expensive paycheck to paycheck one-bedroom apartment. Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal, as we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. What a heartbreaker tonight, Scotty. Devils losing in overtime with a couple seconds left, maybe not even, to the Minnesota Wild, 2-1. I'm just kind of spiteful, Scotty. I just want to say
I hate spiteful.
I hate that name, Wild. Like, rename the team the North Stars.
Peyton's giving the booze there to someone with a Wild T-shirt at the bar, so yeah, boo.
Well, Peyton's from Minnesota, actually. Peyton's actually from Minnesota.
But she's got devil horns on her head, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
See, now she's celebrating. She's rubbing it in right in front of us. Come on, Peyton. You know? Well, anyway.
Well, hello, Sam Wu. That's right. We are here on Devils After Dark on the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network. I'm Scotty, along with the greatest heel in the history of hockey Twitter, and the king of the football calls himself Sam, by God, Wu. Talking about this tough loss. I mean, hell's bells. We lost one at 19. We let up that goal at 19:59 with .03 seconds left the other night, and now we give up one with 2 seconds to go. In OT, officially there at 4:58 of the overtime. After
I'm just like,
rifles went off the post,
and I'm like, Dougie, use your long reach and just pull the guy down. At least do something. You're just draw a penalty.
Anything. It was definitely a tough one. It was most definitely a fun game. I will say that. Lots of positives here for the Devils. They do get a point. The Rangers lose. The Canes win in their matchup. So that, again, keeps us, pushing towards that 100-point mark now at 98 for the year, where the Canes are at 101, right, I believe? I got to look at the actual standings there. But either way, let's talk about this game and wrap it up right now. Number 71 on the season, home against Minnesota. Lines still reconfigured the way we were seeing them. And I got to say, really liking what we're seeing from the TNB. That's all I could come up with for the Timo, Nico, Brat. TNB, they're dynamite. Do a little. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting docked Woo Bucks already. I'm getting docked Woo Bucks already.
No. You're getting Woo Bucks for that. That's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Okay, I get some Woo Bucks for that one. All right.
TNB.
I was trying to come up with something. B and T is close, So figured why not?
Okay. All right.
But yeah, those lines are staying the same way. Same lineup otherwise. Kevin Ball was back in there again. Vanacek back in net. And the news before the game is, unfortunately, we all know about Bastian, we all know about Wood, but it does look like Curtis Lazar is going to be out of action for quite some time. He left that Florida Panthers game, did not return, and yeah, that's not the good right there. But anyway, let's talk about this here. First period, the Wild, taking an ozone penalty right there. Jesper Bratt, nice one-time blast off of from a long-range shot also with Timo in front. Man, the Devils were peppering Gustafsson all night long. Oh, we should get some grumpy old men quotes going on over here as well for the Wild goaltender. I forgot about that fun that we've had previous times. Gustafsson when playing the Minnesota Wild. But first period, the Devils were doing pretty good. Really like what I'm also seeing from the fourth line. This newly put together fourth line of Igor Sharangovich, Mikey McLeod, and Nolan Foote. Man, did they keep the Wild pinned in on a couple of opportunities over there. John Marino hitting the post on one there in the first period, and then Nolan Foote putting the puck just over the top of the crossbar on another opportunity. They really did nice there. Vitek Vanacek came up with a huge save also later in the period with Shaw coming in, and he faked the big slapper and then tried to slide at 5-hole, and Vitek said, "No way. No thank you, sir." Closed that 5-hole, and boom, shut him down. Nothing going into the second period. And, that's when I wrote down here, TNB, I'm dynamite. I was trying to come up with line names there for Timo, Nico, and Brat, but that line is really, really gaining steam. Timo had two great opportunities there in the second period. He had a partial break, which the puck got deflected by the defenseman getting back, and then he had a pass in front, across from Damon Severson. And he took a shot, and he just missed it wide on the far-hand side. But really like to see the creativity and the chances that those guys are starting to put together. And then vintage Vitek came to town. And oh, holy Hanneman, have we been scared about everything that's been going on with Vitek Vanacek. We've talked about the rebounds he's been giving up, how just every shot we take, shot against is kind of like, hold your breath. Don't know what's going to happen. Man, did Vitek Vanacek come up huge, big glove save right by the helmet, by the ear. He came up with one. Snatching it out of the air with a screen in front, and most importantly, no rebounds given up. We know that's what he was doing quite often, is he was giving up these juicy rebounds to everybody, and that's how the opposition was putting the puck in the net. But again, made another big save, stretching his skate all the way to the post with a scramble going on in front. Then he did the splits after that. Vitek actually made up for this. So there was a shot on goal, and it looked like he lost sight of the puck for just a split second. See, split second. See what I did right over there? He lost sight of the puck for a split second, okay? And he's looking the opposite way, and then he realizes, oh, wait, the puck's back this way. And he throws out those splits to get across and recover and make that save. And scary moment there, because he looked like he might have pulled a groin or a hammy or something like that in that moment, but he was okay, stayed in the game. There's a TV timeout right there. Very convenient. Thank you, TV, for that one. Gave him a minute to recover. And he stays in the game. No need for Akira Schmidt to come in. And he ended up making another big save right by the ear. I don't know. The Minnesota Wild had some sort of, scouting report on Vitek Vanacek's ear or something like that. I don't know why. But they were shooting for the ear. Either way, Vitek was making the saves. And on this one in particular, he got it with a glove, but he kind of swatted it right down. And it was right in front of him. And before anything could happen, boom! Big paddleboard stick, cleared it away from the danger zone. So really, really strong second period there from Vitek Vanacek. Moving into the second period, which is good. That is good for Devils fans. It's something we feel like we're starting to wonder, like, is he tired? Is he hurt? What the hell is going on over here? But it was vintage Vitek this evening. Third, again, the old T and B. Jesper Bratt reaches out, chips the puck right across to Nico Hischier, who almost slams it home past Gustafsson. Oh, man. And that was Timo Meier bringing the puck into the zone right there, faking out the D. Jack Hughes created a turnover in the offensive zone. He did a little shake, a little shimmy, a little fake, and then, oh, no, I'm going to go right by you, D-man. Two of them to get the puck on net, but freaking hell, Gustafsson gets it done once again. Vanacek again, another big save. One-time blast from the high slot. And then a 3-on-1. Oh, baby. Jack Hughes' pass was slightly tipped by the Minnesota defense. And I think it was Haula who it was either Halla or Mercer that was going to be, on the receiving end of the pass, and they just, couldn't get it because of the deflection. Dougie then ended up getting a rebound and put a monster shot on net. But again, friggin' Gustafson, Thomas Tatar brought the puck in, did a nice little toe drag move, and put a whizzer right there on net. Gustafson again, man, did he have himself a good game. And then it finally happened. The score was broken in the third period at 6:41 with Shaw getting his 7th on a little wraparound side of the net kind of deal where that was a tough play. The puck kind of went far side 5-hole. It was, it is what it is. That was a nice play. It was a nice goal. That's a tough one to pin on Vitek Vanacek over there. It was a little bit crazy because, it was a big shocker because there was end-to-end action and it really felt like the Devils were going to put a puck in the net. They were peppering Gustafson all night. And unfortunately, it is the Wild to get on the board first at 6:41 from Shaw, his 7th with that little wraparound. And then right after that, they put another one off the post. Oh, thank the iron right there. I am Iron Man. Sorry, I was reading some stuff about Ozzy before. But that was great because it went off the post. So we will take that. Jesper Bratt then drew a penalty, taking a stretch pass, and he was kind of receiving the pass on like a nice little spin move there. And the Wild defenseman kind of chopped down at his skates, and boom, trip and call for the Devils. And then eventually at 12:08 of the third, just after the power play expires, it is Timo time, baby. Getting the wraparound for his 35th of the season at 12:08 of the third period. And this was a nice, hard-working goal by that entire line. And, man, did they deserve it by the end of the night. Jesper Bratt is working the puck along the boards, and he's actually coming back towards the point. And you think he's going to cut across, but what he does is a little spin move the other way, and he's able to put a shot on net. It doesn't get through because Nico Hischier is in front, and he's getting, hog-tied up there by two different Wild defensemen. So the puck doesn't get through to Gustafson. It's there. Nico actually gets his stick on it. He puts a backhand shot on net, but he misses, and it goes behind the goal. Now, since there's two defensemen on Nico, that's leaving our boy Timo Meier wide open behind the net, and he's able to wrap it around and deflect it off of Gustafson's skate and into the goal for his 35th of the season. At 12:08 of the third, Hischier gets the primary, his 37th. The Jesper Bratt gets your secondary assist there, his 34th. And oh, baby, did the place erupt after that. Finally, the Devils get on the board, 1-1 tie, and then Timo Meier, we've been getting on him for taking those slashing penalties. And what happened a little bit later? Jesper Bratt came in with a speed move, to put the shot on goal. And Timo draws the high sticking penalty from Dumba. A dumb penalty from Dumba right there. And what did Timo not do? He did not retaliate. He did not do his slashing of the stick where we've seen him do it like 3 or 4 times already. And he was able to take the penalty and put the Devils on the power play, which we know they haven't done too well on recently. But either way, we will take that power play any chance we get it. Hey, there's our girls, Peyton and Alejandra. Woo! Serving up those adult beverages over there at American Whiskey. Make sure you tip your bartenders. Take care of our girls there. And then the Devils don't convert, unfortunately. Sharon Govich gets tripped. There she is. Sharon Govich gets tripped right at the end of the game. Surprised there was a no call on that one. But even Dano said it. He's like, I don't think they're going to call another one that quick. But maybe they should have because it was a tripping call. But either way, we go into OT, and we got end-to-end action once again, back and forth, 5 shots each for both. Vitek came up with some huge saves. The Post came up with some huge saves. Gustafson came up with some huge saves. Jack Hughes was shot out of a canyon. And a canyon? Yeah, shot out of a canyon. Shot out of a cannon! And, right there at the end of the game, he rifles a shot on net. It ricochets off the post and just does the most perfect deflection out to neutral ice to, who was it, Boldy? who gets the puck and streams in with the clock ticking down, tick-tock, tick-tock, like Killer Croc. And, oh, man, at 4:58 of the OT, he puts a backhander past Vitek Vanacek. What a heartbreaking way for this game to end, especially Vitek, who played a hell of a game all around. That T and B line was looking money. Jack Hughes looks reinvigorated. Even the third line was getting some chances with Thomas Tatar down there. The fourth line, really like what we're seeing there with McLeod, Sharon Govich, and Nolan Foote having some really good opportunities. The defense, a little shaky tonight, but Vitek Vanacek was coming up with those timely saves like he used to earlier in the season to bail them out, and that is what was going on. But unfortunately the Devils lose in OT. They get a point, but they lose in OT. Shots on goal for the Devils, holy hell, 10, 12, 21 in the third period. 21 shots in the third period, plus 5 in the OT for a Slayer Raining Blood tribute of 48 shots on goal. 48 raining pucks from the Devils on the ice. The Wild get 8, 11, 5, 5 for a total of 29 face-offs. A little bit even. Wild got the edge, 53% to 47. Wild 0 for 1 on the power play. Devils 0 for 3. Devils out hit 18-11. 22 blocks for the Wild. 22 blocks plus 48 shots. And then 16 blocks for the Devils. 13 giveaways. That's something we've been seeing a bad trend on that we really, really, really need to fix for this team. But a tough OT loss. They still get the point. And we know that they are in second place. Let's look at the old standings just to make sure. Okay. I'm sorry there. I was wrong. Carolina has got 100 points with 69 games played. Now, of course, they got 2 in hand over here. The Devils got 98, and the Rangers, who we know lost to Carolina, have 92. So a tough loss, but some really good things from this team. The T and B line looks solid. Jack Hughes looks like he's waking back up. Really like what I'm seeing from that fourth line, and vintage Vitek. That should be the biggest takeaway from this game is vintage Vitek, because we all know the troubles he's been having in recent games. And I think that might be the most important takeaway for us, as we've all been talking about Akira Schmid taking over that 1A. Maybe Vitek's been listening to us, and being like, hey, whoa, slow down, guys. I still got it. Just had a little rough stretch there, but I'm still Vitek, and I'll make it happen. So he played very, very well today, and that should be the thing that Devils fans should be most excited about. And Timo Meier coming through as well. Not taking any penalties, scoring a goal. Like seeing that. So let us know what you think about it. I know it's a bit of a heartbreaker, but it was a damn exciting game. And, man, sometimes it just sucks. Gustafsson just played on his head, and we've said that a number of times about goaltenders facing the Devils. So let's hear what you think about it. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, Twitch. If you're at the bar over there at American Whiskey, find us on Facebook or YouTube. Say hello. Take care of our girls, Peyton and Alejandra, and Mariah and Evie, and Frank the Tank, and Ariel, and everyone down there. We love you. We miss you. Can't wait to see you again. But right now we're going to check in with the greatest heel in the history of hockey Twitter and the king of the football calls himself, Sam by God Woo, to see what he thinks of this game. Sam, what's your reactions?
Well, before I begin, I want to give a shout-out to a good friend of the podcast, Stan Fischler, for defending me on Twitter today.
Stand for the win, baby. Stand for the win. Thank you, Stan. We love you.
Yeah. He was reacting to my post about Lindy Ruff being a Jack Adams Award winner of this season. A little bit of a debate earlier this week. So, very disappointing Scotty. Heartbreaking. But it's one of these games where you saw what happened with Carolina and the New York Rangers. It's very hard to close out games against good teams. It really is. Because the Devils had their chances. They just had to bury it. But they didn't. And it gave the opportunity for that last play to happen. It was a perfect, lucky play for Minnesota. The only thing that I thought maybe Dougie Hamilton could have done a little differently was to drag this guy down with only a couple seconds left to avoid that one-on-one with the goalie. Because either way, either you're going to shoot out, or if it's a penalty shot, it still like kind of freezes up the play a little bit. Because I thought I forgot who scored. Had a free pass to Vitek Vanacek, and you just need to tie him up for at least a half a second. That goal would have never counted, even if he got that shot off. But it's too late now. It is what it is. I think the Devils have a lot to be proud of in this game, peppering the Minnesota Wild with nearly 50 shots on goal. Minnesota has been playing very well lately, and it's not like Minnesota is coming in here into this game last place in the Western Conference. They're a very good team. They're shorthanded right now because their star player is out, but I thought overall, Jack Hughes, I thought he played a decent game. Just needed to finish, and that's not a knock on him. I thought the goaltender was Minnesota's goalie was fantastic. Fantastic all night long. And Vitek Vanacek was equal to the task. So, it's one of those things. At least the Devils got a point. They did not, have a 3-point game against an Eastern Conference team. And Carolina, they finished off the Rangers. Again, they know how to close games. And the Devils need to work on that. It's hard to close out games. And, reading some of the comments as I'm talking. But, yeah, so Timo Meier finally adjusted. I think he really looked like a power forward tonight. Getting up front, in front of the goaltender. That wraparound was a sweet goal. I love those type of goals. Just because they're hard-working goals, they're blue-collar goals where you just keep at it on the net. The power play was 0 for 3 tonight. The Devils, the PP2, at time, I think there was one sequence where they couldn't even get set up, burning a lot of time. That needs to be, I think PP2 needs a little bit of adjustment. But honestly, I thought the Devils played very well tonight. It was just a matter of getting the right bounces, and it didn't bounce their way. But you got to bury your chances. Jack had so many in overtime, but the post, crossbar, there's a little luck involved, but I'm not going to worry about it. You got to move on to the next game. And the Devils will have some time to rest and practice.
That's something they haven't had time to do recently either, is practice. This will be their first, 2-day break here, actual 2-day break, having Wednesday and Thursday off in quite some time. Then they got the Friday and Saturday back-to-back over there. But, yeah, Minnesota, they're a good team. They're in first place. Yeah. So I don't know why some people say that they're not, but they are a very good team. And they are now sitting in first place there over in the Central Division with 41 wins on the season.
Is that a check? Oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Well, you know what? We have to do that? We got to go to a 2-shot. Or I could go to this shot just to confuse her. John Marino. Now she's confused.
Now she's confused. But yeah, they're they're a good team. And even with Kaprizov not playing, they're still solid. And they're making a push, and they're going to be in the playoffs. And, they're going to have a good run this year. So Minnesota came in hungry. And listen, it was some really bad puck luck there at the end. I mean, Jack Hughes rifles one. It goes off the post and just like a perfect deflection back out to neutral ice there, for the Wild to scoop up the puck and go in. I agree with Ronaldo on YouTube. We need a 10-minute 3-on-3 action in OT. So no, Ramona, you need to check your stats there. Minnesota's in first place. So.
Oh, is there a little controversy here?
Yeah, but that's okay.
I'm going to pass a little. I'm going to pass a little note to American Whiskey.
Oh boy. With this win tonight, Minnesota is in first place.
Yeah,
but
see if American.
That's how tight it is out west.
Yeah.
But they're not a bad team. So I don't know if anyone's thinking they're a pushover or something like that. They're definitely not.
Yeah.
So, I thought the Devils played well. I thought Gustafsson just played on his head. They didn't stop coming at them. They were putting good quality shots on goal. They hit a number of posts. It sucks that they lost there with 2 seconds to go. I don't know how the Devils would have fared in a shootout anyway, because the shootouts don't really seem to be our best friends. But either way, they still came back, even after, sort of a deflating goal there in the third period, with Shaw getting that wraparound after the Devils were just, like we said, peppering Gustafsson. 21 shots in the third period. They didn't just lay down. They didn't go away. They kept pushing and driving until they finally got that tying goal. And that's what you want to see from this team. You want to see them close it out, of course, but hot damn, 2 seconds left to go in the overtime after a post deflects out to neutral ice. Like, that's some puck luck in the opposite direction. And sometimes you just can't really help that. I think it was really important that Vitek Vanacek made a lot of timely saves tonight. The defense, again, let up some pretty bad plays there. Made some pretty bad plays and let up some good opportunities for the Minnesota Wild. And Vitek Vanacek bailed them out, much like he was doing a few months ago. I know in recent weeks, it seems like he was never coming up with that timely save. And I think really most importantly, he wasn't giving up those juicy rebounds everywhere. Even when he did that second one to the ear, when he knocked it down, he saw exactly where that puck was in front of him and just immediately, wham, just waffle boarded or paddle boarded that puck out of the danger area and got it away, which is, all you can really ask from him in that situation. I mean, that was just a laser beam that was going towards the ear. I mean, if it was me or Sam Wu, I probably would have ducked. So I mean, he held his hand, he held his head right there. Even with a puck going right at his face, at his ear over there, and he was able to knock it down and get it out of the danger zone. So I mean, that's I think the most important thing for this team. We are 2 points away from cracking 100. We got 2 games over the weekend. And who do we got? Is it Ottawa is over the weekend? I got to look at the schedule real quick. We got Buffalo and Ottawa.
Yep, Buffalo up in Buffalo, and then Ottawa. March 25th, Saturday night. I'll be there for Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. It's going to be an all-day affair at American Whiskey.
And those two teams are basically, they're getting pretty close to just really being out of it with, Ottawa just lost they lost 5 in a row. I know they won last night, I think, or the night before. Buffalo, they both, 73 and 72 points. You got Florida and the Icelanders there holding down with those final 2 playoff spots with 82 and 79. That's a lot of ground there to make up in these final couple weeks. So you have some teams that maybe are a little beaten down and maybe a little, kind of maybe checking out a little bit as well. Not that they shouldn't be not that they should be taken lightly. Ottawa's still going to be pushing, Buffalo will still be pushing, but I feel like it's not looking real good for them and their playoff chances. Yeah. Especially the fact that Ottawa I think it was 5 in a row they lost, but I think they won last night or the previous night. I can't recall. But they had a nasty losing streak at the most inopportune time. So the Devils have survived. They got a point. We want the 2. But other than the some of the lack of defense, I got to say, this was an exciting game. There were tons of shots on goal. These weren't just crappy shots either. They were good quality scoring chances. I mean, friggin' Gustafsson played on his head. And I know we've said that a lot this season, but it does happen. I'd like to see Jack break that goal drought. I thought he played a lot better tonight, better than he's played in recent games. He seemed to have a lot more jump in his step. I like Timo and Nico together. I think they work really well. I think Dawson Mercer, Jack Hughes, he loves playing with Eric Halla. I think putting them back together, maybe sparking them a little bit. So I liked what I saw from this team. Gustafsson just stood on his head. And you get that unfortunate bounce there at the end of the game, and that's really what it came down to. Nice backhand move, beats Vitek. And honestly, we don't do too well in the shootout anyway. I know it would have been, nice if we could have picked it up there, but man, it was just really that last shot there from Jack. I thought he had it. Ka-ting! Right off the post.
It's hard to swallow, Scotty, but you know what? You got to move on. As fans, we got to move on. Devils get a 2-day break, then go up to Buffalo, then Ottawa on Saturday. They should beat these teams. And Carolina has a hard schedule. They got to play the Rangers again on Thursday. It's one of those games as a fan, you just want both teams to lose, but really you just want one team to win in regulation because it helps you either way where the Devils stand in the standings. But Carolina, just remember, Carolina's up on the Devils 2 points right now in the Metropolitan Division with 2 games in hand. But just remember that Carolina was favored, really heavily favored in the beginning of the season to come out of the Eastern Conference into the Stanley Cup Finals. The Devils are literally, at this point, 2 points behind. So there's still a lot of hockey to be played. And you know what? But the Devils, with a little luck here, and, they keep doing what they were doing tonight with peppering the goaltender with shots and just keep on the attack. And with good goaltending, they'll get their chances and things will go their way. But right now, tough to swallow, but I'm okay with it. I really am. Time to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Max. We're only 2 points out. I don't know why everyone is having such a meltdown about everything.
Oh, crazy. People have a meltdown. Like, honestly, I should have become a sociologist in college. I should have majored in sociology. Just like on Twitter, because I've been doing a lot of tweeting lately. Like, you say one positive thing, and it brings out, it opens up a can of worms with, 10,000 negative comments. It's weird how the world works. But, again.
I don't understand that sometimes. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm happy as hell. Does anyone remember the last like 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 10 years of what we went through with this team?
Let me tell you something, Scotty.
Man,
We do this post game called Devils After Dark for the last few years. Probably dating back to, it actually started by accident in 2021, January 2021.
the pandemic.
Yeah, where first game back, we had Grant Marshall. Remember how we had Grant Marshall just hanging out?
Dropping F-bombs left and right.
On our pregame virtual, hangout, right? And here's Grant Marshall with a beer. I'm like, can you guys hear me? Is this thing on? A couple F-bombs here. And then afterwards, this is how it started. Hey, since we're all set up, you want to just join up after the game? Oh, okay. And then it was just like, then it was pregame, then post. I don't think the only time we ever missed Devils After Dark since that moment was when we broke 3 cameras at Taj Lounge on opening night last season. We literally broke 3 cameras and we couldn't do it. And you did all the work. I'm sorry, Sky. We don't have any cameras.
We don't have any cameras.
We don't have any cameras. We're packing it in.
Yeah.
But, but when you do many of these, the point I'm trying to make is you appreciate these moments. They were actually relevant to the end. Remember, we want to play meaningful games towards the end of the season and meaningful games towards the end, meaningful minutes towards the end of the game. You got that tonight. You stayed from the puck drop in the first period to what happened in the last second of the game. It tells me the Devils were in it the entire time, and that's all you can ever ask for, a chance to win. Vitek Vanacek gave his team a chance to win. They just got to bury it. I'm not going to point fingers at Jack for not burying it. I'm not going to point fingers at Timo Meier. I will point fingers at Ronaldo Lyon because thank you for the super chat. That is very generous of you in the YouTube Live.
Thank you, Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's the if you want to interrupt Sam Wu or you don't like me, you want to interrupt. Yeah, that's for Grant Marshall.
Okay, very nice.
Oh, Grant Marshall. Yeah, I mean we should one of these days, like during the summer when we have nothing to talk about, we should pull out old videos, like old shows, and just comment on it.
Oh boy.
Grant Marshall.
Like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but Devils After Dark and podcast edition.
the best of, because we're too lazy to create anything.
Oh man. But yeah, no, tough loss tonight, obviously. But the Devils, I mean, it really was just it was a bad bounce. It was a really bad bounce there at the end of the game that made it happen. And sometimes that's the way the hockey puck turns, and it's okay. It's okay. They got a point. They played really well. These new line combinations, I feel like, are gelling a lot more. And it was an exciting as hell game.
Yeah.
It was a nothing game, and it was like edge of your seat. And we have a goaltender back again. Let's see if he can continue this now. I know I was definitely concerned with him playing 2 games in a row. I'm like, what do you mean Schmid's not going to be in there tonight? What? What do you mean Vitek's going back in there? Lindy Ruff made the right call. He made the right call there.
I'm all about Schmid, but you know what? It's good to see that the 1A and 1B combo are doing very well. But I'll tell you what's doing very well. Even after a loss on a Tuesday night, American whiskey is still looks like lots of things are happening. I can't wait for Saturday, Scotty. I mean, look at this. They're still drinking away. They're still having a good time. The fans did their part.
No, yeah, they did. And Max, I mean, I think we said the Wild had 22 block shots plus the 48 that they had there. So that's at least 60 right there around. So
and just remember
they were pushing the offense.
just remember, in the playoffs, it's a 7-game series, right?
Oh yeah.
If you get off 75, if you get off 75 attempts in a 7-game series in each game, you're going to wear down your opponents. I mean, eventually those shots are going to be hitting bodies, and it's going to be painful when you play the New Jersey Devils because a lot of Devils, there's a lot of RPMs on their shots. I mean, eventually they're going to go in. The key is the Devils stay consistent on the attack, and I think they will. But you know, as the standings look right now, Scotty, the body armor. I'm going to have to wear this helmet throughout the series if we're playing Devils Rangers in the first round.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But there's still time left.
I'd be excited. So I'm very excited for it. I hope. I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see the Devils step up for that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great series, and I think they'll be able to, I think it'll be a great matchup, and I think it'll go the distance.
Yeah. And you know
I
what?
think it'll definitely go the distance.
I think Jack Hughes would thrive on a rivalry like that to get himself amped up. Not like you need to get like it'll be an introduction to playoff hockey, what real playoff hockey is right off the bat for this young team, because you've got the rivalry between Devils and Rangers, and then the team hasn't been in the playoffs in so long, and this is like home game one, like the speed, the crowd. I mean I don't advocate this, but I bet you it's going to be a very entertaining scene inside the arena and outside the arena of the fans going at it.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I am sure it will be. But that's what playoffs are all about.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great, great learning experience for this Devils team who, again, nobody thought would be sitting 2 points away from 100 right now at this point in the season.
Ronaldo asked a question. Ronaldo, with the super chat before. Can you get Stan Fischler on? Will he know if he's talking Devil, Rangers, or Islander hockey? Ha, ha, ha. Let me tell you something, Ronaldo. Stan Fischler is probably, his brain is probably younger than Scotty and I. Like, he is so sharp.
Oh, definitely.
He is so sharp. And one time, I had a couple questions, and he responded to emails just like that. He's in Israel. He's in Israel, different time zone. He responds just like that. His emails are like punctuated and perfect grammar, unlike mine when I'm asking him a question. And he was thoughtful enough or generous enough with his time, and I got to speak to Stan Fischler on the phone for about 20 minutes about something that happened in 1947, and he knew every single detail of that era right back because he answered a couple questions of mine. So you can't really joke about that, Stan Fischler. He's a lot smarter than all of us combined, and he's still sharp even at 90? I think he's 90 now.
Oh yeah, he's in his 90s. Yeah, no, he's fabulous. We had Stan on there one time, like a year or two, maybe 2-3 years ago. Or no, I think it was during the pandemic. We had him on there for an episode, and it was just absolutely fabulous to speak with him and pick his mind and just hear some wild stories. And the guy's a genius. Anyone who knows the train system inside in and out of New York the way he does as well, all those, he is just not only hockey, but like he is just a well-renowned man in many, many fashions. And Stan is great, and hopefully maybe someday we can get him come back on the show when he's got some time. But yeah, he is over there in Israel now, so it's sometimes a little difficult with the old time zone differences and everything like that. But he was an absolute fabulous guest. And yeah.
And also, he did a better job logging in to the studio than Beer Baron. Not to knock him. Like, Stan, I didn't know that you know how to do this.
Oh, man. All right, let's get to some you versus woo right now. Our score predictions that we've been doing all season long. Our good friend Dave Singer and his Victory Bucks and Max and Ronaldo and everyone else. We're just gonna say it's sponsored by our entire YouTube Live and Facebook Live teams who are here every single game, pregame, postgame, commenting away. We thank you because, you know, as we sit here and we go through and we look at everything, you know, like, you guys are a big part of this show, and we cannot do it without you. So thank you, and you guys are the reason why we want to do this live. You know, we could wait an hour or so afterwards and just pre-record something or whatever, or just kind of fudge it if we want to. But, you know, you guys are the reason that we come here day in and day out. Obviously, our love for the New Jersey Devils as well, but we love coming here. We love chatting with you guys and, talking Devils hockey. Whether we agree or whether we disagree, it's all good. It's all good. But, you know, you guys are a massive part of this show. We can't thank you enough. So thank you for all the likes, the follows, the subscribes, and all the comments that we have going on here every single game. So, score predictions. Sam Wu, what did the great Vinny Parisi have for today?
I think he said 4-3 Devils.
4-3 Devils. Ugh. That's an L for Mr. Parisi. How about Sam by God Wu?
Sorry, Peyton's texting me right now. She's talking trash.
Oh, boy.
Talking trash.
Oh, boy.
Talking trash. Let's see. I had 5-3 Devils.
5-3 Devils. Well, that's another L over there. Let's see. We got JP at 3-2. That's an L. Ramona had 4-2. That's an L. Max had 3-2. Oh, man. We just got L's all over the place over here. I mean, that's a tough score. 2-1 OT. Man. Did anyone have it going into OT? Anyone have any OT predictions? Oh, Joseph Land. Oh, you had 2-1 Devils. Damn it.
Oh.
Flip-flopped. Damn.
Oh.
Very close.
Very
close, Joseph. Did anyone have if anyone had the OT, we'll give you the point if you called OT tonight. But I don't even know if anyone had that one. I gotta start sending you mine before pregame, Sam Wu. I gotta start sending you mine because I always forget to do it. So I want to join in on the fun. I know I'm gonna be wrong the majority of the time, so I want to call myself out on my poor score predictions that I'll probably be making, or maybe I'll start once the playoff comes or something like that. I don't know. Ted, I knew Minnesota. I said 4-3. Yep, there's another one. Yeah, tonight's just going to be one of those goose eggs, I think. 2-1 that's not really a score you come up with very often. Especially the Devils, who typically put more pucks in the net, you know. Say, like, most of the time, if I'm going to have one, I'm going to have them with, like, at least 3 goals, I feel like, in my score prediction. So that's a tough one. 2-1. Minnesota Wild win in OT with 2 seconds left. But it is what it is. A bad bounce. But the Devils, you know, I think they played a good game. They didn't quit. They didn't get down. When Shaw got that goal in the third period, they kept pushing. And that new top line there, the TNB, the Dynamite. Now you're going to have me doing AC/DC stuff all the time. You know, they looked really good. And for a while, I was totally convinced, like, Jack and Timo, that's going to be the combo. That's going to be the pair. They're going to be running wild. Hulkamania style on everyone. But the Swiss connection, my friend, the Swiss connection, it really looks like Timo and Nico might make themselves a pretty wicked combination there. What's up, Sam Wu?
So Antu Sky Dancer, Mrs. The statistician, resident statistician here on the Let's Go Devils podcast, Mrs. Wu, pointed out that Antu Sky Dancer had 3-2 Devils in overtime. So he actually...
Oh, he had the OT? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Our Nunez, good point. I think Igor is starting to look a little bit better. Except that same thing where he's very inconsistent with his scoring. But we know how good he plays on the PK and other stuff. But I did like what I saw from Nolan Foote tonight. And if those other three, because I don't think they've made an announcement about Miles Wood. I think he's still technically undisclosed. But they were saying Curtis Lazar is going to be out for quite some time. So, Bastian again, maybe he could come back relatively soon. But that was tough. That's tough, losing Lazar so fast like that. He was averaging like 4 or 5 hits a game.
Yeah.
In like the 3 or 4 games that he played. That's some of that beef that we can really use, come playoff time. But hopefully, Nolan Foote is a big boy himself. And he's got a pretty nice shot, I got to say. It looks a lot better than it did when he came up briefly last season, when he looked a little lost out there and not so ready for prime time.
They don't look as scared. They don't look scared anymore.
Some get by on less. I like that. Ooh, the wrecking ball. I like that too. Very nice, JP. I'm not sure about Lazar. They just said, I just got it from our good friend Erica Wachter there in that mid-period report where she basically was just Curtis Lazar is going to be out for some time. So hopefully he can come back for the playoffs because we know he has the experience. And, he played well in his limited role. I mean, he's not going to light up the scoreboard and anything like that. But he was hitting some people, and he was making his presence known out there on the ice. But agreed, JP, Foote is looking so much better. Max, they said no timetable. Yeah. But I really like the way Foote is playing. I would love to see... I was really hoping Graham Clark got into a few games there when he got called up there for that brief minute. Mm-hmm. But he was scratched every game because I really want to see what he had as well. Because these guys are hungry. And Foote does. He looks like a completely different player. He looked lost out there at other times. And now he looks ready to take advantage of his opportunity. And I feel like so far he has. I don't know if that's won him a spot once Wood and Bastian come back, but I think he's definitely opened up some eyes. And the fact that, Wood is a UFA, and isn't Bastian as well, I think? I have to look real quick. I think Bastian's a UFA, or is he an RFA? No, I think he's a UFA. Oh, Cap Friendly. Where are you, Cap Friendly?
He's got to be an RFA, Bastian.
Is he an RFA or is he a UFA? Nathan Bastian is an RFA. He is an RFA this year, but Miles Wood is a UFA.
Yeah, I mean, Bastian and Bratt came in, and McLeod all came in 2016. So they're all RFAs with one more year left.
Yeah. So obviously you want to hang on to Bastian, but Miles Wood was playing better, but he got dinged up again. So, but obviously, that might have been something to do with his head too from that shot he took. So I don't know if you could really fault him on that, but he was starting to find his groove again, I felt like, before he got hurt. So, but either way, there's an opening. And sometimes that's how it happens. How did Tom Brady get in the game, Sam Wu?
Oh.
Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
Mo Lewis. That hit.
Yep. Now, I'm not saying Nolan Foote is going to be the Tom Brady of hockey, but just as an example, you know what I mean?
Can you imagine you said that on Twitter? They'd kill you.
Well, if you said it, that'll be the end of the world. But You get my point.
Can you imagine?
Sometimes
Can you imagine if I
sometimes
tweet that right
opportunities come
now?
up that way. Oh yeah, you should. I can only imagine. But I mean, that's sometimes what happens, And guys, if they play really well, you give the coaching staff reasons to not take you out of the lineup. Don't give them reasons to take you out of the lineup. Give them reasons not to take you out of the lineup.
Oh, look at what happened to Boquist. I mean, I think you and I wrote him off 2 seasons
a number
ago.
of times. Yeah.
And
a number of times.
Now he's a productive player. Very productive.
Yeah. So, Nolan Foote, keep going with it, dude. Keep pushing, keep driving. Stay hungry. You never know. But I think we should probably wrap up this episode here for Devils After Dark. Tough L, but we do get a point. So that's important. Devils stay 2 behind the Carolina Hurricanes, who play on Thursday. And then we will be back to 1 game in hand. And, of course, they're playing the Rangers again, so it's going to be a huge game for us either way. Whoever wins that game, let's just hope that they don't go to overtime so both of them don't get points. Let's just hope for a regulation, end to that game. That'll be the biggest benefit to us one way or the other. But I think Devils fans should keep their eye on that one Thursday night. And then we're back for 2 against 2 teams that are, kind of on the downside of that playoff bubble and playoff chance. Yep. Hanging on by the skin of their teeth, maybe kind of checking out already. One more win from the Isles, one more win from the Panthers, even the Penguins too, who are flopping right now as well. It kind of really puts it a little bit out of reach for them. So, Devils got 2 days off, time to practice. They don't have to travel real far, just to Buffalo, and then they're back at home for Ottawa. They're not leaving the time zone or anything like that. And we know this team could use a practice or 2. They haven't had very many opportunities to do that. It's been rapid-fire games here. Well, we had 2 weekends. This is going to be 3 weekends in a row with back-to-back games, right?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's 3 weekends in a row with back-to-back games. I mean, they've been playing basically like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So they really have not had a lot of time to actually have a good hard practice, to get some really good rest. Let's see what they can do coming out against Buffalo on Friday, Ottawa on Saturday. Those are 2 games that they most definitely should win. And hopefully, because I saw some of you talking about it on there, hopefully it could be a nice confidence booster to get some of these guys going again. But we're going to have Nick Villano of Pucks and Pitchforks here tomorrow night for State of the Fan address. Sam Woo's going to be along for a Woo report tomorrow, Thursday. And then good old Vinny Parisi will be back live for Game Day Live right here on the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network. And then yours truly, Scotty, and the greatest heel in the history of hockey Twitter, the king of the football calls, Sam by God Woo. And I will be back for Devils After Dark, hopefully talking about a big, big Devils W. So thank you so much, everybody out there. We truly, truly appreciate it. I will, what do we got, 5 games? 5 before we clinch? 5 points I think we need to clinch?
5. Magic number's 5.
Magic number's 5. That's just a clinch.
Yep.
So, excellent job all around by Sam Woo, by Peyton, by Alejandra, by everyone down there at American Whiskey. Tip your bartenders, take care of them. We'll talk again on Friday night. Sam, turn it over to you for the final goodbyes.
Dropping the podcast at midnight. Devils lose 2-1 to Minnesota in overtime. Till next time, let's go Devils.